Uh-oh, another convention, another big pile of stuff. Hey, let's take a look and see what we got, shall we? Okay, I'm going to do my best with this, so just bear with me. The reason I'm doing this, there's a couple of significant things I want to show you guys. And later I want to talk about a few things. Let me just move some stuff out of the way here. First off, this here is by the same company that did a game that I thought was very interesting. It was Armada Invincible. I think I showed it to you yesterday. But this is actually a board game. And as you can see, this is completely unpunched. Hopefully you guys are getting this okay. And you got to put the tanks together. It comes with dice, blah, blah, blah. And it goes together with a big system. So, very cool. I have the other system, which I will show you in a moment. Let's put that in here. These are tigers, and it wasn't something I really took off, but I think it works, especially with my son who wants to get into a little more miniature stuff. A couple things. Well, I'll make another video about my wrap-up of Hurricon. But this is all stuff from Hurricon. This here is actually once most of that stuff that we just saw is finished. And it comes with this big starter set. Oh, I hope I didn't hit the camera. Yes, I did hit the camera. And I hit it again. This is Blitzkrieg 1940. And you can see there is a ton of different scenarios and cards and, you know, real nice game. I think it's perfect for, you know, it's a historical board game, and I tend to like some of that stuff once in a while to break up some things. At this convention, it was weird because today I was going to actually go and buy a whole bunch of that, the Polish, the Fire and Sword, and I decided against it. I want to keep this channel very miniature, not miniature light, but I don't want to get into the heavy miniature aspect of it, on camera at least. I have tons of this stuff underneath this table, which is mind-boggling, and on the other side of the room. But I want to keep this channel very, very, you know, to the... I want to expand on it, but I don't want to go too deep into it because board games are really what I seem to be leaning towards. But a gentleman had passed away, unfortunately. And later on I'm going to make a video about it because I promised the guy that I would help him. His family, he had over $200,000 of these old type games, and I decided to buy a bunch of it. So I'm going to give you guys the link so you can get to it and help out the family by just purchasing games. That's all you have to do. Unfortunately, they're struggling now that he's gone. But this is an unpunched game. It's Invasion Earth. And it's something that I find very interesting. It's an older game, which is right up my alley. These bookcase games I always liked. This is actually a 1981 Conquest game. Next one is another old GDW game. It's called Imperium, Empire in Conflict, Worlds in Balance. And you can see that this thing is just untouched. This guy was a collector, I guess, and just never touched anything. Let's put that over there without stepping on the cat. This here, Struggle for the Galactic Empire, is a solitary game. It is another decisions game. This is another oldie but goldie, but this is actually from 2013. Looks pretty interesting. I like it, at least. This game here is very personal to me. I had a copy of this when I was in Connecticut. When we moved, unfortunately, it got lost somehow. This was the first Avalon Hill game I ever played with my son, and that's when he was 7. Now he's annoying at 26. But it's banged up, but it found a good home. And like I always say, when I hear stories like that, I make sure that these things find a good home. And we're better than my house, right? Sink the Bismarck. This is another unpunched, untouched game. You go around trying to sink the Bismarck. Very interesting game. Something right up my alley. Now this here, I got for a whole $10. It's the game without the miniatures. But I already have the game. The reason I got it is extra blocking dice. And to be honest, I didn't need the game. I needed to take some of the pressure off the first game my wife ever got me, which is this monstrosity. And you could tell it's filled to the brim. So while we're on air here, I'll even start moving some of this stuff, dead zone, because I got this thing so jacked up. And you can tell I have close to 3 boards. I can have a huge tournament in my house. Start player. Ugh, it's ridiculous. So I'm quite happy to get this box. This is a game. Blood Bowl is like one of my favorite games of all time. If I ever did one of those 100 games of all time, well, guess what? I can tell you right now what would be number 1. And that's that baby right there. Very personal to me because of my wonderful, beautiful wife. Okay. This here, now we're getting into more of the board game stuff, but we will venture out. Let's just turn this on its side a little bit. Panzer General is a great game. This is the Russian assault version of it. What it is, it's just a giant board game, and you use cards and miniatures, and you use resources to build up, and then there's certain objectives that you have to take. And just a really, really great game. It was on Xbox Live. You can actually play the board game. They converted it, but I like the board game itself. This here is the Allied Assault version of it. So why don't we turn it so you guys can see it. And I got this one. Let's move this over. Now we're going to be starting getting into the classic stuff. Man of War Unpunched. GW used to make some great games back in the day. Very hard to find a lot of this stuff. This is pristine, untouched, unscathed by man. I'm just blown away by the fact that I could get this thing for what I did, which was I paid a lousy few dollars for it. And that into itself is pretty awesome. So there you go. Well, you can't have Man of War without Plague Fleet. And this is another one. Unscathed, untouched by man. Just unbelievable that it's even here. Skaven. I just don't know what else to say. This is all the bad guys all put into here. This, I don't even know if I'll keep. I might give it away. Who knows? I just felt bad. I saw it and I jumped right on it. This book here is for a great card game, but I lost the rules. So this book actually helps because it has all the rules. It is a card game, and I'm going to show you guys real quick. It is one of the first really interactive card games where you take and you build a battlefield, and then on the in-between areas is where you'll move your units and you get certain resources. I mean, just a great World War II game. This is an oldie. Bombers over the Sulfur River. This was a little mini game that came out from Games Workshop, and if you look, it's just a couple of tiles, but you've got as an orc raider, as you can see, we got a couple of orc flyers in there. Try to make it, and it's 3 tiles long. You've got to try to make it all the way to the other, to safety. But of course, you've got all kinds of anti-artillery and interceptors on the other side coming to take you out. So just a really, really kind of neat and cutesy game. Fun, fast, and I think I might paint those up and just do a quick walkthrough just for fun, or playthrough. I think you guys will really enjoy it. Now, I'm sorry I'm reaching in front of the camera, but there is a lot to grab here. A game that I think you guys would enjoy. Let me pull some out. This is a miniatures game called All Quiet on the Martian's Front. Now, if it looks like War of the Worlds, yes it does. And it basically is. This is after the Martians left, they came back. And as you can see, I painted these up already. I've got a ton of this, but I kind of went crazy at this convention because I really think that this is a great game that you guys would enjoy. I got 3 more assault tripods. I got a slaver tripod. I got, for the US, armor infantry squads. And I got a US command unit, which was important to have. Watch out, Lily, for crying out loud. Tell you, this cat. Then, and that's not even half of what I've got, because I plan on doing a battle upon epic proportion. If only I can find the other bag that I had. But, of course. Oh, here we go. I got some farmhouses. I got a church. Scenery is everything. And I got some more 1950 type houses. This is a game that takes place in 1950. So, oh, watch it, girl. I'm sorry. And the great thing about these is that they all come painted already. Painted, ready to go. I just put them out there. Let's have some fun. And I've got a whole scenery that I do here, so I think you guys will enjoy it. I got the church as an objective because the Martians want to eat them and turn them into lobototrons or something like that. So basically, with all these houses, I wanted to do an epic landing. But I had to beef up the Americans a bit, and well, actually these are lobototron squads with blasters. These are the alien on foot. What they do is they eat humans and they convert them into these creatures. A scientist tripod, which was important because, as you can see, they grab and then they eat and they process. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Scorpion drones. You'll see what those look like. Finally, for the Americans, MK2 mine layer tank. You gotta lay mines to try to stop these things. Then we got them some mobile artillery tanks. Let's take those bad boys out. Old school. An MK4 monitor. Look at the size of that thing. That's what I'm talking about. Let's take out some Martians. But how do the Martians counteract? Easy. A veteran assault tripod. He has a long-range missile that just tears all this stuff apart. So I balanced it out. They have this giant ironclad thing. I didn't get it because the Martians don't have anything to counteract it. and I like to keep things balanced. But pretty much that's everything I got at Hurricon. I had a good time. I didn't make a ton of videos. I try to keep it light. I don't want to flood the channel with all Hurricon all day. So the stuff I try to keep to specific. What am I trying to say? I try to keep it to basically specific details or events that happened, and not to bore you guys to death. So that's everything I got this weekend. It's Tuesday afternoon. I had enough. I just didn't feel like staying any longer, and I decided to come home, spend some time with my family, and play games tonight, which is important. So thanks so much for taking a look at everything that I have. If you have any questions or stuff about it, let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer anything and talk about anything. And I gotta put this stuff away. Well, till tonight. We'll talk to you later.